Well, we're back again with another chapter of the Mrs. Somebody said to, say it like Mrs. Potts, so the Mrs., I guess. Isn't Angela Lansbury, American? I think I found that out really recently, that, she was born in England or something, but that she actually lived her, whole life in America or something. I don't know, don't quote me on that. I might be a liar. So, where last we left off, the evil human trafficking kidnapper, because there always is a kidnapper, has shown up at Alessia's father's house. Okay, so, Alessia is at the door. She says she doesn't want anything to do with Anatoly. Anatoly says, I want to talk to you. We said all we needed to say on Saturday. Alessia, please, I came to ... apologize for everything. What? Alessia feels like the air is being sucked from her lungs. She's stunned. Can we talk, please? You owe me that. I brought you back here. A surge of anger rises from deep within her chest. No, Anatoly, you kidnapped me, she snarls. I was happy in London, and you took me away from all that and put me in a difficult situation. You must go. I have nothing to say to you. I mishandled everything so badly. I see that. I have had time to think. Let me plead my case, please. I won't touch you. Okay, so do you remember that this guy straight up tried to do something to her that apparently if you say the word on YouTube, they flag you? Do we all remember that? Do we all remember that he tried to do that to her? Do we all remember that the reason that she was trafficked in the first place is this guy? I handled it badly, but here's the thing that really gets me. Here is the thing that just really sticks in my craw, okay? Here it is. All of this behavior would have been fine if he had been the love interest. If this was Christian Grey, this would have been fine. And just to make it clear that if this were the hero of the book, E.L. James would have no problem with his behavior, listen to what he said. Alessia, we are betrothed. You are the most beautiful, maddening, and talented woman I have ever known. I love you. This is the kidnapper. This is the guy that kidnapped her, threw her in a car trunk to get her across borders, and tried to assault her. And he says exactly the same thing that E.L. James's heroes say to the heroines. There is no difference. There is no difference between that and Anastasia. You are the most brave, intelligent woman I've ever known. There is no difference between those two statements. So Anatoly tells her that the people in England are going to despise her because she's Albanian. I mean, fair. We all know that Eastern European immigrants get treated a certain way in the UK. And don't go in my comments going, well, America, I know. Both of them have bad attitudes towards immigration, okay? I'm aware that I come from a country that has a bad thing with immigration, so I don't want to get any of those comments. Although those are more TikTok comments than any of my YouTube comments have ever been. Again, listen to what Anatoly tells her. I acted stupidly, badly. I can change. You've been in the West. You expect more, and you deserve more. I get that, and I can give you more. So much more. I will accept your child. Treat him or her as my own. Alessia, please, I love you. He steps forward and boldly takes her hand between each of his, imploring her and staring into her eyes. You will make me a better man. I need you, he whispers, his desperation evident in every syllable. Again, that could be the hero of an E.L. James book. There's no getting around it. I mean, her hero and her villain, they're always going to talk exactly the same because there is no difference between the men who are bad for abusing the heroines and the men who are good for abusing the heroines. I'm also really loving the insinuation that Alessia only doesn't want to be in an abusive marriage because she's been to the West. As if every single woman in Albania is like, you know what? I think it's perfectly okay for a man to abuse me, try to assault me. I'm cool with my father selling me. Making it seem like the women in Albania are these like spineless, sort of like no idea of their agency. The xenophobia, really, good job. In order to create any sort of conflict or tension in this book, because the story really did end with that first book, but in order to create any sort of conflict, it seems that what we're going to be reading a lot of is Alessia feeling like she's less than when she goes back to England. The reason that I think this is because of this passage. But his words, "They'll despise you," have struck home. She clutches her throat as it seems to constrict against the truth, and she suddenly has an overwhelming urge to cry. What if he's right? So the conflict apparently is just going to be Alessia thinking that, you know, everybody hates her because she's from Albania. Now, one thing about this book and these recaps that I have been missing is I haven't been doing voices. I was thinking about that when I got that comment about Imagine Mrs. Potts saying it. Maxim has to call his sister-in-law. He feels like he has to call this sister-in-law that he was screwing to, I don't know, tell her all of his business and what's going on with Alessia. And boy, does she just make herself out to be the evil blonde. Maxim also doesn't want to tell her that he's going to be getting married to Alessia, which, like, red flag, okay? He doesn't want to tell the woman he used to be having sex with that he's getting married. I wonder why that is. I'm sure that it will all be explained away as something very logical and that doesn't reflect badly on Maxim at all. He tells her that the reason that they have not returned yet is because they're waiting for Alessia's passport. Now, knowing that she has been trafficked and living in the universe of this book in which Albania is an absolute, like, it's basically like General Pop at Rikers Island, this is her response. "Ah, I see." She sounds uncertain, but continues, "You don't want to come home and go back for her?" "Definitely not. I'm not letting her out of my sight." "Oh, how protective," she scoffs. "Your white knight is showing." I chuckle, relieved she's her usual caustic self. "Yes, it's been showing for quite a while, much to my surprise." "Surely she's safe with her parents." "It was her mother who handed her over to the traffickers, albeit unwittingly." "Oh, okay, so that's right. Never mind. Anatoly did not traffic her. Anatoly just kidnapped her. So I guess I can let him off the hook for that. By the way, you are going to hear that accent the whole time for the rest of these recaps. So strap in. I am going to do my bad British accent the whole time. There's... You know what? I'm just going to read it and then complain about it. "I finally found the strength to go through Kit's things. My grief surfaces, unexpected, raw, and vicious, winding me. Kit, my dear brother." Okay, we know that Kit is your brother. You don't have to tell us every single time you think of Kit. We don't need a refresher that it's your fucking brother, dude. We get it. We can handle. This is the thing. E.L. James thinks that her readers cannot handle very simple concepts. And you know what? To an extent, I completely fucking agree. Okay? I completely agree. But it's annoying to me, a normal human person who reads books and reads books by more authors than just this one, because she got me back into reading. So they hang up the call, and this is what he has to say. "Feeling guilty as hell, I hang up. Guilty by omission. I should have told her. Hell, I'm tempted to call her back and confess that I'm getting married, but she'd want to get on a plane and come here, and frankly, I don't want the hassle. No, you don't want to tell her that you're getting married because the vagina will close. The vaginal option will be revoked. Alessia comes in. She tells Maxim that Anatoly has come, and that Anatoly asked her to reconsider. Keeping in mind, Anatoly is a man who has attempted to assault her and who drove her from England to Albania in the trunk of a fucking car. This is Maxim's thought. Are you reconsidering? No, she exclaims. Thank God. Why would you think that? Yeah, exactly. Why would you think that? Why would you think? Oh my God. This is chapter 3. This is chapter 3, and I have already hit just astronomical heights of fury. She asks him, okay, are you reconsidering? Is it you that's reconsidering? How could she think that? No, of course not. Though I wish we were doing this at our own speed. But you know that. Why do you doubt me? I'm thoroughly, indubitably, muchly in love with you. I open my arms, and after a beat, she steps back into them with a shy, forgiving smile. Ugh. Maybe the reason that she thinks that is because you just asked her if, like, wouldn't you rather be with the guy who human trafficked you? Because I know that he didn't sell her into human trafficking, but let's be real here. Throwing someone in a car trunk and taking them across several international borders and taking their passport is, human trafficking, even if they're your betrothed. And of course he, calls her courageous. Okay, more courageous than Anastasia Steele, because that was a big thing we heard all the time about Anastasia, about how brave she was and how courageous and how, support the troops level bravery, right? I at least give Alessia that she's braver than, she could be. Bronwyn Green is calling me, and I'm ignoring it. I love you, Bronwyn. I'm ignoring it so that I can continue with this. So that is how dedicated that I am to ripping this book apart. He calls her courageous. I am going to go ahead and give him that. She survived this whole human trafficking experience, and it really does put into perspective all the times that we heard about how courageous Anastasia Steele was for getting spanked. Do you want to hear something gross? She guides his mouth back to hers, driven by a desperate longing as she coaxes his lips with her own and opens her mouth to him. Maxim groans as her tongue pleads with his. She wants to climb inside his skin and obliterate the memory of her encounter with Anatoly. Now, this book would be fantastic if she would literally just flay him. Just flay Maxim, make a Maxim suit, walk around in it. But her tongue pleads with his. I can't get past that. That phrase is, that's fucking haunting. That is haunting. So, even though her entire extended family is upstairs and probably wondering where she went, she decides she's gonna try to, get him to fuck her. And when he says that it's not a good idea and that he's saying no, she thinks it is not her place to question him. Well, I'm glad that we got that out of the way. I'm glad that his consent is the issue here, but it's not her place to question things that he says. I'm glad that we finally arrived at the E.L. James baseline for consent. And Maxim, the guy who said indubitably the last time we were in his POV, now says, "What the hell, dude?" That's how I can imagine him saying it, dude. So I mean, like, I can just hear it. Like, what is this? What is this book? What did I do? What did I do in my life that has brought me to this point? What choices have I made? I'm having a crisis of conscience or something. I don't want to get caught in flagrante delicto by a member of the Damachi clan. Frankly, it's just so weird when I can hear the gaggle of women laughing and joking above us with her mother, and knowing that her mad dad isn't far away with his shotgun. I've stepped into the wrong century, and it's messing with my head. I am tired of hearing how he has stepped into the wrong century when he is literally a goddamn count. He is a count. The only person that should be calling themselves a count in this day and age is Dracula and the vampire on Sesame Street who's into math. That is it. Also, why is in flagrante delicto just like a phrase that E.L. James has at her fingertips? I don't know a single damn person who uses that phrase, and if they do, how are they also using dude at the same time? We've at least gotten away from the heroine flushing. Now Alessia is she pinkens, basically. It doesn't say pinkens. It says her cheeks pinking, but I guess that the way that I was saying it, I would have to say pinkens, or else there would be like a bad sentence in there. And frankly, I should just edit this out, because I feel like the second I started trying to say the word pink, I was having a stroke. I hope that's a mini bike and not a chainsaw murderer coming to get me. She says, you don't want to have sex. Like, she's like, oh, you don't want to? Oh, baby, nothing could be further from the truth. Baby really just threw my accent. Oh, baby, nothing could be further than the truth. Here, I take her hand and press it against my rigid dick. Oh, she says, her cheeks pinking and her fingers start exploring. Fuck. Alessia, I growl, not knowing if it's a warning or an entreaty. She peeks at me, all dark, dark eyes full of longing, and I can take no more. I haul her into my arms and start kissing her, properly, fervently, like a starving man. My fingers are in her hair, holding her in place, while our tongues explore. Desire, hot and molten, fires my blood, and I think I'll explode. Your staying power is amazing, Maxim. I am super duper impressed. You almost got your pants off. Somebody comes to the door. Come in, I call, my voice hoarse. We never have long together, do we? I say to Alessia. Except at night. Her eyes flash with a needy carnality. Oh, it's like she's directly addressing my over-interested dick. Oh my god, the dick stuff. We just keep talking about his dick. My kingdom for a world where I didn't have to think about this guy's dick. Alright, once again, we have arrived at a needless POV switch. Okay? The door opens. It's Spressa. She comes into the room. She says, hey, we've got guests. You can't be in here groping up on this man. That's not what she says, but you gotta come out here because we gotta do planning and stuff. Maxim says, are you going back to your relatives? Like, no, she's just gonna fucking ghost them while they're in the same house. Sorry I burped there. Sometimes it happens. Then she's like, yeah, we're discussing food and decorations. They won't be here long. He's like, I have some emails that need my attention. And then Mom walks away, and we go back into Maxim's POV. There's no reason to shift to Alessia's POV whatsoever. There's nothing there. I know that the argument could be made that because her mother is speaking in Albanian to her, that we would need, you know, a translation, and it's just easier to flip into that POV. But I counter that with her mom speaks fucking English. The more that I think about Maxim saying baby, the more I hear Mike Myers and Austin Power. Baby. Yeah, baby. Maxim is like, we can't have sex anyway because I don't have condoms. And she's like, well, go buy some. And he's like, but if I go buy some, then people will know that you're not pregnant. And I'm like, okay, but we've already looked up this city. It is not a small village. Surely there is somewhere in this town where they don't know her. But because this is an E.L. James book, we have to find out whether or not they can raw dog because, you know, his pleasure is so important. I could go to the clinic and get the contraceptive pill, she says, the sound muffled by my knitwear. That's a brilliant idea. She chances a cautious look at me and I smile. Sex without condoms will be a first. I doubt it. Maybe with her, but I 100% doubt this guy who is a photographer slash DJ slash nobleman has never just had raw sex in a bathroom somewhere with a chick. He's got kids running around all over London, okay? He doesn't give a shit. But, like, they're worried about people finding out that she's not pregnant and she's gonna go get on the pill. Then she says, okay, I will do that. I should tell my parents that I am not pregnant. Yes, we should. I have a plan. Hesitantly, she looks up at me. You do? Tomorrow. She buries her head in my sweater once more. Is the date. I bleed. So... am I gonna have to read more period sex? I don't have a problem with period sex. Period sex. Period sex. I don't have a problem with it, okay? I just don't necessarily want to read E.L. James write it. As predicted, her mother made an untimely appearance, and it's a fucking problem. Their proximity and the constant monitoring from her parentals is driving me crazy. Being here has given me a valuable insight into Alessia's upbringing and makes me admire her all the more for escaping to London. She's grown up and lived in this stifling atmosphere, controlled by her mother and father her whole life. I've been here 2 nights and I'm missing my freedom. I feel like a teenager back in school. I'm a grown man, for fuck's sake. You are a count. You refer to yourself as the spare. You are so afraid of your mother that you, a grown man, cannot tell her that you're getting married. You are going to sit here and say that Alessia's life has been controlled. And, need I point out, she did not escape to London. She was brought there by human traffickers. I don't think she was even trying to get to London, was she? I can't remember. I thought she was trying to go to college. That's was my impression, was that she was trying to go to college or something, or maybe they were sending her to London, but like, it's making it sound like she like made some harrowing escape when really she was fucking trafficked. Like, think about what you're saying, dude. Like, think about what you're saying. That her escape was to be trafficked. That things are so bad in Albania that being trafficked was better. Maxim thinks about the fact that, you know, Anatoly might come back. And he thinks, I'd be more than happy to put a bullet through him. Hell, the sooner we're out of here, the better. I'm contemplating murder. Yes, you're contemplating murder because you're in Albania. The sooner you get out of Albania, the better, because then the murder rage will go away. Because if you weren't in Albania, then you wouldn't feel like murdering, because Albania has this criminal gas that hangs low in the atmosphere, and if you breathe it in, it makes you a criminal. And that's why everybody in Albania is the way that E.L. James writes. You know, because of all her super accurate research that she did by going on vacation there for, you know, probably 7 days or something like that. And now she knows everything that there is to know about Albania and Albanian people. So we just need to trust that she is portraying them accurately, and that a civilized Englishman would go to Albania and upon drinking the water, which is poisoned with murder thoughts, immediately become a ruthless criminal. Am I taking away the appropriate thing from the book here? Am I picking up what she's laying down? Thank you for joining me for yet another infuriating chapter of The Misses. I cannot wait until we get out of Albania, because I'm getting really tired of hearing about how people from an Eastern European country are primitive and awful. I am getting super tired of hearing about how Maxim the Count feels like he is in an archaic situation, even though he comes from a system that literally dates back to the Middle Ages. And I am tired of hearing Maxim say, dude. I'm tired of it. I'm tired to my ass. I don't know. And it's chapter 3. So, thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, push that notification bell, and I will see you for episode 4.